I'm Miss Herder.
I'm Miss Parker.
And I'm Miss Crump.
So what's happening today in 7th grade? So our objective for today is we're going to learn how to illustrate the theme of our poem using contextual evidence. So we went over what a theme was last class, but just to clarify, the theme is the subject of a talk, a piece of writing, a person's thoughts, or an exhibition, a topic. Does anybody have any questions about that? No? Cool. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do this one all together as a group. I'm going to read it aloud to you guys. So as I'm reading, I want you guys to be sure to follow along and pay attention to what you think might be an indicator of the theme. A poem is a spiderweb by Charles Gignan. A poem is a spiderweb, spun with words of wonder, woven lace held in place by whispers made of thunder. Okay, what do you guys think is the theme for that poem? Any ideas?
You guys need to see it again?
Yeah.
Read over it? Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Maybe the theme is about how poems are complex, like a spider web, and how they're put together by all the different words that make them complex.
Good, good. Yeah. Does a poem have just one theme, or can it have multiple themes? Multiple. So what could be another theme for this poem? Any ideas?
It's pretty concise. The line "whispers made of thunder" kind of makes it seem like it might be a short thing, but it has a lot of power behind it.
Good, short and powerful. Awesome. Any other ideas?
I like how poetry is a combination of both like meaning and sonic. So it's sound and meaning.
Sound and meaning. Good. Those are great, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on.
Okay, so what we're going to do today is we've made sure to give you all a poem. So if you want to flip over that sheet that has the Post-it notes on it, each group has, each table has a different poem, but there's two of you that have the same poem. And what we're going to do is the person at your table that has the longest hair is going to read your poem out loud. And then once your group has read the poem out loud, you guys can go ahead and use the markers or pencils to highlight any themes that you think are in the poem.
Okay, guys, you got about 3 minutes for this.
And we're going to be walking around, so if you guys have any questions or need clarification, don't be afraid to ask.
I think that this poem highlight the evidence for the theme. So I think that the theme is about resilience, and it's about even though you came from hard times, you grew and made the most of it, and were resilient through all of that.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe
You guys can write down
charged with the dirt.
Is the villain.
Yeah.
The theme is going to be just about life.
There you go.
I need the definition of it. Theme, topic. So it's about her living, not knocked down like her living. I don't know what that is though.
What do you think?
I'm just. Oh yeah.
If you find one thing, you can go ahead and find another if you have time.
I don't know.
The world and being inspired, right?
So, if we could bring it back in, guys. A lot of great discussion. Loved hearing and walking around. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Do I have any volunteers to tell us what their poem was and a theme that they found in it?
So our poem was The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac, kind of hilarious. So basically our poem was pretty much about about like resilience. It was kind of talking about how a rose grew in between the crack in the concrete, and how despite all the odds, it kind of like overcame those things and it grew and it's great.
Nice. Did anybody else have a poem by Tupac? So what theme did you guys get?
We kind of got the same thing, honestly, just like despite what people may tell you and all the odds are against you, you can still like make something great happen. And
Do we have another volunteer? We're going to go through all of them, so speak now. Yes.
We had Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. So it talks about like the world ending either by fire or ice. And so the main thing we took away is like for interpersonal relationships, like some relationships can end with like a passion and fire, and that's bad, but it's the insidious cold relationships that are more bad and therefore more like soul crushing. So Robert Frost.
Yeah.
That was pretty deep.
And can we get an example of the Maya Angelou poem? We have that. Still I Rise.
We just have that like a really resilience is kind of the theme in this. And that people are going to keep knocking you down, but don't let them keep you down and keep you up.
Yeah. I feel pretty good. Okay. So, do you want to move this part?
Yeah, so if you flip your poem over, you should have a couple post-it notes on the back. And you're just going to take one of those for yourself and write your name on top, and this is going to be your exit ticket. You're going to write on there a theme that you may have discussed or maybe that you thought of yourself from the poem that you read that was different than the one that your group shared.
And for those groups that didn't get a chance to share, if you want to include your group's theme on there too, that would be great.
Okay, once you guys are done with your exit ticket, you can hand them to me as you walk out the door, and have a great rest of your day.
Okay. I know how to work the rest.